Imagine you are in a Java interview and the interviewer asks what happens internally when you call map.put. I have seen most of the candidates simply say hashmap calculates the hash and stores the value. That's true. That's absolutely true. But that's only a small part of the story. Behind the single line of code, hashmap internally performs a lot of work. It lazily creates its internal table, calculates the hash, finds the correct bucket, handles collisions, may convert a linked list into a red black tree, and when the map gets too full, it resizes the entire table. Let's break down exactly what happens one step at a time. Let's start with this line. After reading this, you might be thinking that Java immediately allocates memory for 16 buckets because the default initial capacity of a hash map is 16, but it does not. At this point, the internal bucket array is still null. HashMap delays creating the bucket array until you insert the very first key value pair. This optimization is known as lazy initialization. The reason is simple. Not every hash map that's get created is actually used. Imagine an application creating thousands of hash map objects during its lifetime. If Java immediately allocated 16 buckets for every single one, a significant amount of memory would be wasted on maps that might never store a single entry. Now let's insert our first entry. Since this is the very first insertion, HashMap checks whether its internal bucket array has been created. If it is not, so HashMap allocates the bucket array. By default, it creates 16 buckets. You can think of this as an array containing 16 slots. Each slot is called a bucket, and every key value pair will eventually be stored in one of these buckets. Now that the table is ready, the next question is which bucket should store this key. Let's find it out. To answer that, HashMap first calls hashCode of the key. A hashCode is simply a number that represents an object. HashMap uses this number to quickly decide where the key should be stored. For a string, Java already provides its own implementation of hashCode. For example, if we create two strings with the same value and print their hashCode, both statements print the same hashCode because both strings contains the same characters. Now let's see what happens with a custom class. Even though both objects contains the same data, they will produce different hash codes because we are using the default implementation inherited from object. That's why if you use a custom object as a hash map key, you should override both hash code and equals. Otherwise, hashmap won't be able to recognize two logically equal objects as the same key. Now suppose our key generates this hash code. Does hashmap uses this value directly? Before calculating the bucket, it performs one extra operation. Mixes the higher bits into the lower bits, helping distribute keys more evenly across the buckets and reducing collisions. Now that the final hash is ready, HashMap needs to answer one question: which bucket should this key go into? It calculates the bucket index using this expression. If the table has 16 buckets, this calculation might return bucket 5. So HashMap immediately jumps to bucket 5 instead of searching the entire table. You might be wondering why use ampersand instead of the modulo operator. Because the table size is always a power of 2. And this bitwise operation produces the same result as modulo, but it's faster and more efficient. Now hashmap goes to bucket 5. There are two possibilities. First, the bucket is empty. Great. Hashmap creates a new node and stores the following information. It then places this node into bucket 5. And that's it. The insertion is complete. But what if bucket 5 already contains another node? That means two different keys have landed in the same bucket. This situation is called a hash collision, and now HashMap needs a different strategy to store the new entry. A collision simply means two different keys end up in the same bucket. This is completely normal and expected. When a collision occurs, HashMap starts traversing the nodes already present in that bucket. For each node, it first compares the stored hash. Why? Because comparing two integers is much faster than comparing two objects. If the hashes don't match, HashMap immediately moves to the next node. If the hashes do match, it performs one more check by calling equals. This step is important because two different objects can sometimes produce the same hash code. Only when both the hash code and equals match does HashMap treat it as the same key and replace the existing value. Otherwise, it continues searching. If no matching key is found, HashMap creates a new node and adds it to the bucket. Initially, all the nodes in the bucket are connected together as a linked list. Now imagine a worst case scenario, more and more keys keep landing in the same bucket. The linked list keeps growing and every lookup has to scan one node after another. As the list gets longer, search performance degrades to big O of n. To prevent this, Java introduced an optimization in Java 8. If a bucket grows beyond 8 nodes and the hash map has at least 64 buckets, the linked list is converted into a red black tree. Why the 64 bucket condition? Because if the table is still small, the collision are usually caused by a lack of buckets, not by bad hash distribution. In that case, it's more effective to resize the table, allowing the entries to spread across more buckets instead of paying the overhead of maintaining a tree. Once the bucket is converted into a red-black tree, lookup time improves from big O of n to big O of log n. HashMap also keeps track of how full the table is. By default, it uses a load factor of 75%. With an initial capacity of 16 buckets, the resize threshold becomes 12. This means the table can hold up to 12 entries before it needs to grow. When you insert the 13th entry, HashMap automatically resizes the table. The capacity doubles from 16 to 32 buckets. Why use a load factor of 0.75? It's practical balance between memory usage and performance. A lower load factor wastes memory while a higher one increases collisions. Through experience, 0.75 has proven to be a good default for most applications. But resizing is not as simple as allocating a bigger array. Every existing node has to be redistributed into the new table because the bucket index depends on the table size. Although resizing is an expensive operation, it happens only occasionally. That's why HashMap still provides big O of 1 average time performance for insertions and lookups. Let's quickly summarize the performance of HashMap. Average insertion is big O of 1. Average lookup is big O of 1. Worst case with long linked list, big O of n. After treeification, big O of log n. So the next time someone asks what actually happens when we call HashMap.put, you won't have to answer with just it hashes the key. You will know the complete journey from lazy initialization and hash calculation to bucket selection, collision handling, treeification, and resizing. And that's exactly what makes HashMap one of the fastest and most efficient data structures in Java. But we have covered only half the story. In the next video, we will understand how hashmap.get works internally.